Hello and welcome to Indie Encounter. My name is Sandra Laraine Coleman. The mission of our show is to give independent performers and artists access to as wide an audience as possible, and to give you, our viewers, a window into their art, their artistic process, and why they have chosen their particular avenue to connect with the world. All art is about communication and connection. Where harmony wears halos, stars sweeten their shine, spiritual reggae rhythm abounds, and beauty reigns. Let's meet today's indie artist, Lynette White.
Hi.
Hi, Lynette. How are you?
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you.
You're welcome.
Now, I haven't had the opportunity personally to hear you until you were warming up for today's session, and you are absolutely phenomenal. So tell us how and why Caribbean reggae gospel.
Well, I'm a Caribbean American. I am Jamaican and Belizean, and I grew up in the church. And one of the things that I find here in California is that when you're in the church, it walks like this, it talks like this, it moves like this. But we, especially people of color, come from all different kinds of backgrounds.
Right.
And I kind of grew up being taught that you relinquish your right to be anything but Christian. And that's not necessarily the way God intended it, or He
Right.
wouldn't have people all over the world.
Right, right.
So when I got to, before I started recording on my own, I had the opportunity to tour with Wailing Souls and Carlos Santana and Bob Dylan and some really phenomenal artists, and I got to experience the impression that music has on people all over the world. So when I
Right.
recorded myself, I just let what came out of me come out of me, instead of trying to make it sound like, well, if it's gospel, it's got to be Mary Mary, it's got to be
Right.
Kirk Franklin, but
Right.
that's not me.
Right, and Kirk Franklin has a little hip-hop flair to him, so, and I love Kirk Franklin.
Right, but Kirk is doing Kirk.
But see, now I have a new favorite gospel artist. That would be you. Because I so loved what I heard, and I liked the way it sounded. I liked the way the music felt, and I can understand. And I know you mentioned earlier about it's not big here in California, but other places you go. So what do you think, maybe not so much in California, that people don't, is it we're not exposed to it? Is it too much going on?
I think it's exposure more than anything, because other areas, the Caribbean community is simply larger.
Right.
In New York, there just is, everywhere you look, someone
Right.
is from somewhere else. Black people
Right.
are not just American. Other places, New York, Florida, Canada, and of course the Caribbean, the community is larger. So
Okay.
there are Caribbeans that go to church, and those Caribbeans worship in our voice.
Right.
They don't necessarily worship in the voices of other people. So here in California, because the Caribbean community is so sparse, you know, we go to church and we assimilate. We
Right.
don't hold on to who we are and worship in our voice.
Right.
Because even when I minister here, when I come in contact with the Belizeans and the Jamaicans, they're like, oh my gosh, they don't know that they can.
Right.
You know, we wave flags and we dance, and that's the way we worship.
And that's the way we used to worship before we came
Right,
here.
right,
So
right.
maybe we should be following you to church.
I have the most awesome church too. My pastor's from he's from Sierra Leone, West Africa. And he looks like an Italian guy, so it's not necessarily just people of color.
right.
It's just there's a freedom in music.
Right.
And that shouldn't be squashed out of us when we go to church.
Exactly.
That's where it's really supposed to.
Exactly.
You
That's
know?
where the freedom is supposed to.
Absolutely.
And I think people have a misconception of what worshiping and religion and, you know, and strict, you know, Jehovah's Witness, Christian, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter what religion you practice, but you're supposed to be free to be who you are in whatever you practice. And then I think instead of religion, it should be more about spirit. So
Absolutely. When you talk about religion, that's when you're talking about rules, regulations.
Right.
This is what it looks like. This is what you wear. This is what time you come. This is what time you leave. When you start talking about relationship
right,
with the Creator, with God, then you really get to experience freedom, because there's all these parts of you, your culture, that He wants to redeem and use to build His kingdom. Exactly. He has no interest in me not being Jamaican anymore, or not being Belizean anymore, because there are people that are going to hear me because of who He made me.
Right, exactly. And then listen to what you have to say.
Absolutely.
And watch your walk.
Absolutely.
So
because it reminds them of them.
Exactly. And then they know they don't have to be afraid, like you said.
Absolutely.
He's not about fear.
At all.
Yeah,
At
he's
all.
not about fear. That's a human condition.
Absolutely. Right, it's a spirit, it's a choice that we decide to be afraid. But yeah, there's this freedom and this liberty in music and worship. And I've found in Caribbean gospel that you can go places, you know, in terms of what you're saying, the messages you're trying to get across. I get to say things that might not necessarily comfortably be said in church, you know, but since I'm already pushing the envelope, I push, you know what I mean? And I talk about subjects that don't necessarily get talked about, but that need to be addressed.
And so one of the problems that I have is because, like you were saying, people don't necessarily talk about those things, but church should be a place where you should be able to come and talk about anything that's bothering you or that's going on in the community. And why should we dumb it down or tone it down just because we're sitting? This is where we come to get those things out and and repair damage.
Well, it's like going to the doctor and not really telling the doctor what's wrong.
Exactly.
You won't be able to get fixed, or being embarrassed to tell the doctor what's wrong.
Right.
Then how can you actually be healed? How can you get fixed? Church is the place to come and bring domestic violence, bring sexual abuse, bring depression and habits and addictions. Church is the place to bring that.
It is, and God already knows anyway.
It's not a secret.
It's not.
It's not a secret.
So why are we, you know, or why is somebody saying, shh, don't talk about that? Because
of our own shame and condemnation. We're embarrassed. I want you to be embarrassed too.
Yeah, well, maybe we should learn how to not be so embarrassed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but speaking of domestic violence, I know you have a song that you brought today. And I was wondering if you would like to go ahead and share that
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to be blessed by Lynette White.
This song is called Free Again. Run the track. No more hurt, no more pain. No more clouds and no more rain. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? Songs of freedom. I'm free again. Now I can see again. Free to be me again and finally breathe again. I'm free again. Now I can see again. I'm free to be me again and finally breathe again. No more fear coming out, take no lick again. And no more worries till the stress make me sick again. And no more lying, come can't tell me friends again. And no more bawling, cause the pain I go in again. I'm free again. Now I can see again. I'm free to be me again and finally breathe again. I'm alive again. Now I can thrive again. I'm feeling revived again because love's on my side again. Love is patient, love is kind. Some even say that love is blind, but even love can turn to hate. Abusing me was your mistake. I was sorry when you were wrong. I danced your dance and I sang your song, but it's over now. He broke the chains, set me free when he called my name. You say you love me and you now do it again, and then you disrespect me in front of all of your friends again. You say you're sorry, so merry go round again. I was lost, but now I'm found again. I'm free again. Now I can see again. I'm free to be me again and finally breathing again. I'm alive again. Now I can thrive again. I'm feeling
take no lick again. I no more worries till the stress make me sick again. I no more lying, cause me can't tell me friends again. I no more balling, me and I go in again. No more stories and no more lies. No more chances to apologize. It's over now, he broke the chain. Set me free when he called my name. I'm free and I can see again. I'm me again, me again. I'm so alive, I'm so alive, and I can finally fly again. Now I can thrive again. Me not take no leak again. No more stress make me sick again. Me can't tell my friends again. Now I'm found again.
Woo!
That was Free Again.
That was beautiful. That was awesome. And it took me back to a place that I really don't like to go. But I was once in an abusive relationship. And whenever I get the opportunity, whether I want to go to that place or not, I tell that story. Because I believe I was placed in that situation so I could have a testimony and help maybe somebody who might be in that situation or know somebody in that situation. So that for you to get up in front of people and sing that, and I'm not going to ask you who it was about unless
I don't have any problem with it. Once you are healed,
right,
you can take it off like a garment. That
exactly.
pain, I'm not wearing that abuse
Right.
anymore.
Right.
So when I got the release to actually start talking about it, I remember being on a stage in Toronto and talking about it and thinking, for real, Lord, we're about to share this? Like, I'm about to let these people in my business like this?
Right.
But afterwards, the people that came up to me, you know, if it could happen to you, then that means I could get out of it.
Right.
And then after I started singing this song, even the men, the ministers that would come to me and say, I mean, I don't hit my wife, but sometimes when she, you know, I shake her. But after hearing you say that, I mean, I just feel so convicted and I'm not going to do that anymore.
Right.
So,
Right.
so when you say it takes you to a place that you don't want to go anymore, just let God continue to heal you, because yes, going there, people
Right.
need to know
People
that
need to know. They do.
there isn't anything that's not common to men. There's not a new thing.
Right.
We don't have an abuse that hasn't been experienced by someone else.
Right.
So once we get
Exactly.
out of the shame of it and we can actually talk to somebody.
Right. Exactly, because I remember I have some poems about that, and I remember, you know, when I do them or when I talk about it, like you said, how many people come up to you, because you never know
Right.
who's in the audience
Right.
and who's listening and who needs, and that's why if the Spirit moves me to do something, I do it.
Absolutely.
Whether I want, it's not about me.
Absolutely.
Because like you
Absolutely.
said, that's my ministry.
Right. And some days you're like, I'm not feeling this one today.
Exactly.
Or you're trying to gauge the audience. This is this kind of crowd or that. But you never really know.
You
don't
don't.
know who needs what you have to offer.
And it could be one person.
And that's enough.
That is enough. Because if you miss that,
Then what
You
did you
know
come
what?
for? The applause tonight?
yeah.
You know,
And it should never be about
Right.
it should be
Right.
about the movement.
Right.
And the art and the message.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I so appreciate you.
Thank you.
And your bravery.
Thank.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's bravery. I don't really think of it as such. I feel very fortunate that, of course, that we got out.
Right. Exactly.
You know, but God can use anybody He wants,
Anybody.
and that He would actually be mindful of me is pretty cool.
Exactly.
That I actually get to be the person, because I firmly believe that we can impact the lives of every single person that we come in contact with. Even if it's just a smile or good morning or how are you?
Yes.
You don't know what you're doing for somebody that day.
You don't, but I was going to say you're brave because think about the people that are not able, you know, you're the voice for somebody who maybe is not there yet to fight back or to leave or to move on. Or,
Right.
Yeah, so.
I praise God for that.
Yes.
I praise God for that.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
That's I think so too.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I wanted to ask you, now you mentioned some names and you know, traveling and touring, and so when you go on tour and you're doing your thing, and your thing is hot, by the way, what is it like just being, you know, being able to tour with you said Carlos Santana and you mentioned some other names, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow.
Well, those things, it was a different time, and it was a different get down. I was a background singer. I toured with Mark Wahlberg for a long time too, before he was superstar actor extraordinaire. He was Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch then, so we were doing that Good Vibrations tour in Germany and stuff like that. And that was a different kind of get down, because I was a background singer, and it was just part of this huge movement, you know, and running and getting in the tour bus and not sleeping, and it was fun,
right? But
it was a different thing,
right?
When I tour now, it's different because I have purpose, and it's me, Lynette, and not to say they didn't. I'm just saying I was a part of their thing.
Right now, you're
right. So when I tour now, I literally am going because I'm sent. I'm going because I have something to say specifically to a certain group of people.
Right.
There's the network of Caribbean gospel artists. There are some awesome artists out there. Shelly Thunder and Monty G and Stitchy and Papa San, and the names go on and on and on, and Yankee B and Wingy Day. I mean, there's so many of them, and people just don't know we're out there, not here in California.
Right.
And it's awesome. The shows are live. I mean, it's awesome.
So we need to hook up with you
Real
so
talk.
we can get, yes.
Real talk.
So tell us how we can get in touch with you, and you have product too.
I do. I'm Lynette White, and everything that I have you can find on iTunes or LynetteWhite.com. I'm on Facebook at For Lynette White. I have to say, I appreciate the opportunity to promote myself, but I'm telling you, gospel reggae has a lot to offer, and there is gospelreggae.com. And so many artists there. Just go and click around. And it's the bomb. If you like it more hip hop, if you like it more roots, if you like, it's all there.
Right.
And shout outs to my pastor Roger Abergel in Kingdom Culture, who has the hottest selling gospel reggae album out there.
That's right. Shout out.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. You can shout out anybody you want to.
I love my pastor.
That's a beautiful thing.
And my twin boys, Anthony and Isaiah, I got to shout them out since you said I could shout.
Yes. And so being a mom and doing what you're doing, because I know you're busy, and not only are you raising kids, but you also have a job.
Yes.
Yeah. So the balance. How do you balance everything?
Honestly, how do I balance? I have a really good shepherd. I have really good counsel, so that when I'm out of balance and when I'm doing what seems right to me, I get counsel. I get Pastor Diane. I have somebody that goes, listen here, sweetie. That's not cool.
Okay.
All this touring, that's nice, but you got babies at home, you might want to sit down. You know, those things that you don't think about, not on purpose.
Right.
You're just thinking, you're doing everything that you're supposed to do.
Right.
So to have a shepherd that tells you, hold on, mama, let me talk to you for a minute.
Right, that superwoman syndrome that we all have.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's on our chest.
Absolutely. So that I have to be honest, that's how I keep my balance, by trying to be teachable.
Oh, and that's good, because a lot of us aren't.
Well, notice I said trying. I have my moments.
Okay. Well, you must be doing a good job, because you sound fabulous.
Praise God.
And I know your 13-year-old boys are twins.
Yes.
Yes.
And
so
they're awesome.
the mother of twins, a Caribbean reggae gospel artist, an insurance
salesperson.
Yeah.
Aflac.
Okay. Get it.
Listen.
Okay. So they want to. Can they contact you on those same?
Absolutely. And
for insurance.
And
too?
Aflac is the bomb. You would want to get at me. Really. All shameless plugging. I love it. Thank you.
Okay, because we need to know where we can contact you and how we can contact you, and you know.
I'm going to say really quickly, you and I were talking about before the show about everything we do being a part of ministry and educating people. A lot of people, especially in our communities, don't understand the importance of insuring ourselves and taking care. We will make sure we got to fill and our weave is done and we don't have life insurance.
Exactly.
And then we leave and our parents are selling chicken to try to bury us.
Right.
That's real talk.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or we get these illnesses, cancer, heart attack, stroke, and we're not protected.
Right.
And it's only so much chicken anybody can sell, buy, and eat.
Exactly.
So,
you are so right.
So really, we need people in the community to say, insure yourselves.
Right.
Do better with your money, all those things that we need help with.
Right. So we can come to you for that.
Not for the do better with your money part. I'm still working on that too. But
we all working on that one.
That's called keeping it 100.
Okay.
But for the insurance, absolutely.
Okay, so that's awesome though, because I'm gonna have to talk to you because I have a daughter in college and I just want to make sure, you know, that she doesn't have to sell chicken or bounce basketballs.
She getting her dribble on.
Exactly.
For sponsorship.
My mama, I'm trying to, you know, that. But I want her to be okay.
Get at me.
Yes, I will. I will definitely. And everybody else get at Lynette White too.
This is so great. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm loving you
we're
right
having
now.
too much fun.
Oh, yes, we are. So, and Red Stories, because your best friend,
Jahaz Zainabu.
Yes, and you actually featured in Red Stories. Now, I apologize for missing that one, but I'm going to have to talk to Jahaz so
it'll roll back around.
That's what I'm saying.
It'll roll back around.
That's what I'm saying.
And Jahaz is an amazing, I don't even know what to call. She's a poet. She's a storyteller.
Yes.
She's amazing.
She's spiritual.
I'm very blessed to have some friends that are extremely talented, you know, that are gifted.
Yes.
And Jahaz is definitely one of them.
Definitely one. But I could see the relationship between you and her because reflection.
Oh,
you know, and I could see that because I know Jahaz and now I know you, and it's totally understandable. You know, it's totally understandable.
That's my girl.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I have to say on camera, we had our babies together, and she's the first woman outside of me that kept my children when I was gone. You know what I mean? Not family, of course. My sister might go, and I kept her. Yes, my sisters. But I mean, my babies. You know, when you leave the house and you gotta leave your babies with somebody for the first time.
Yes.
It was her. So that was really cool.
And that's big because you cannot trust your children to everyone.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you can sit here and say she was one of the people that I knew I could leave my children with.
Absolutely.
That is huge.
Absolutely, especially when she has her own newborn baby.
Right.
And I could rest assured that she wasn't going to hold her baby and not mine. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. She ain't even that kind of person.
But she's sitting there with postpartum, got 3 little baby seats in front of her. Can you imagine?
No.
Right.
Because postpartum ain't no joke.
It's not a joke.
It is not.
So, shout out to Jahaz. Thank you, Mama.
No, that's right. And one more thing I want to ask you about before we go. When you're doing your thing and you see the young women in the audience, what is it that you are trying to impart to them as an artist, a Caribbean reggae gospel singer?
Honestly, mostly that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. One of my biggest issues with growing up is always feeling like I don't fit. I'm not Jamaican enough, I'm not Belizean enough, I'm not American enough, I'm not short enough or tall enough or fat enough, or just never enough.
Right.
But to come to a place of getting more mature and understanding that God made me for such a time as this, all the pieces that he put together was so he could use me in his kingdom. So to say, however you feel, don't be swayed by whether or not the boys like you right now, or whether or not you're popular right now, or what the church necessarily is saying, or whatever the clique is.
Right.
You're fearfully and wonderfully made, created in God's image, and he has a plan and a purpose for your life.
Right.
Hang in there and find out what it is.
And find out what it is. Definitely. I want to just say thank you so much. But this is only part one.
Yay!
We're going to come back for some more girl talk.
We said a lot in part one.
We did. We absolutely did. But I thank you so much for being here. I thank you for sharing your gift. I thank you for exposing us to your gift and your blessing. And may you continue to gift and bless.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. This has been Indie Encounter, a journey into the world of the independent creators of art and artistic communication. I want to thank today's guest, Lynette White, for sharing her artistic vision with us. If you want to find out more about today's guest, check her out on Facebook or on the web by typing her name into your internet browser. Check out our website here at PasadenaCommunityNetwork.com and select the Arroyo channel. You may also check out the website 14mark.com for additional contact information. Thanks to our director, Lilia F. Gaspar, and crew for making the show possible. Thanks to all of you. We hope to see you here again when we embark on another Indie Encounter.